try to do it with the example windows. Initially, in case if the JIT is not installed in your Linux machine, then you need to go for installing the JIT. Okay, the GitHub. Okay, after installing the GitHub, then create one directory for your work using mkdir command. So in the last class I explained to you. So after creating that, then if you want to make this particular folder into your JIT folder or the Git folder, sometimes you may pronounce it. So you get inside that particular folder called my files. I created it. Then you need to enter the command called git init. The moment you say git init, it will say that if it is already installed, it will say that git repository is already initialized. In the last class we have seen it. Okay, then it will also create one folder called .git for the configuration file. Then after that, there are lot many commands. Okay. So if you say ls-a, you can notice that there is one hidden folder called git. Any hidden folder starts with the. Can you see the screen? Let me verify once. Can you get the screen?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. So then again, we also discussed about how to configure the initial concept, configuration file. So might I remember, say you have to configure it with the, say, git config commands. So better you note down these commands also with a little bit, one small titles, something like this. Say for example, let me start it from the beginning, those who are taking notes. In case if the git is not installed as a system admin with the root permission, you install the git with the following command. That is called apt-get install git. Okay, very carefully you can note down the commands. If the then for in my case as of now it was already installed. So git is already the newest version. Otherwise, it will take a little bit time to download git software, and after that it will be get installed. Then after that you need to make one working directory in your computer for the GitHub, for GitHub repository. You can name the folder as you like. So in case of my system, I named it as mkdir my files. This folder will be your git repository file, and after that you enter into that particular folder cd my files. Later on that, after doing that, so then you have to initialize. So you need to initialize the git folder with the git command, git-init command. After that, you can verify the content of that particular file. You can notice that there is one hidden file, that is a configuration file. Then at this particular stage, you need to go for configuring the git repository in your computer. So that command for configuration is git config --, then say global, because sometimes this global you can use, because if you use global, in case if you have multiple repositories like my files, X files, Y files, etc., different git repositories, this configuration will be applied to all the files. Okay, it will be applied to all the files. I mean all the git repositories. So what to configure? Git config --, global. Then you have to say user's email ID. So you can configure user.email. Here you can configure your own email ID for the Git repository. User.email, note that, space, then your full qualified email address, then press enter. Then after that, there are some other email, other settings also. You note down these commands. Then you can also configure username. Then you can name, say for example, I may write Manmohan, or what any name you can give. Git config name is configured. Note down this command also. Git config -- global user.name and type in your username for the GitHub. Then in case if you want to use one editor, by default editor, then you can say core.editor. Core editor. So because in the Linux we are using gedit, you can type that also. Okay, core editor is the means the editing file, whatever we are going to use in the repository. If you use -- global flag, the setting will be applied to all the repositories in the machine, because multiple repositories can be created in a single machine. As of now, I have one repository in my files. If you want this identity only for this repository, then you can omit that -- global. It's not mandatory. Whatever the email address, user details, etc., only for my files. Not if you don't want to reflect it into other, then you need not to use that particular concept. Then next command is about so getting the one second. Then you can say, for example, git then -config and list. -- that will demonstrate, that will tell you what is the configurations assigned to the repository, username, email, etc., etc. Then let us start with the working on this. Git configuration is done. Now assume that you are going to create some contents. Let me create a normal text file. Okay, we can use gedit also. Gedit, then I can say m1.txt, the first file I want to create. Sorry, you can use with the ampersand. I will tell you why. Create some content in a file. Try this along with this. Create one sample file. Create one sample file and try this. All of you do it in your computers and create one configuration, one sample file. Assume that you are working on some text files or what, text file for the Git repository. You can use HTML file or get file, HTML or text file, whatever it may be. Some content you are working on or you want to collaborate with others. So generally we say gedit. Then you can say, for example, m1.txt and ampersand. Then create some content. This is first file, first version. After that, you can save this content and you can close this file. Okay, any file, this you can write one HTML page also. I just created a simple text file for just for the demonstration purpose. Create some content and assuming that this file will be collaborated with others. After doing so, then you can add that file to the repository or the staging area using get add m1.txt. Okay. Look into this. Then you can look into git status to check what happened to that. Then it will say that when a new file is created and its content is, so look into that, what has happened. You created one file that is added to, or that is there in the staging area. So the file is content is in the staging area. That's what is explained here. Now, once if you edit some file, then you can look into the status. So very important point to note that what do you mean by git add.m1.txt? If you want to commit your changes, you have to bring that file into staging area. Otherwise, you cannot commit that particular file or save it. Okay, that is one of the important point to note, that to get it into the staging area, it is something like a shopping basket. Once if you create some file, then you get it into the staging area. Then again, then you can look into the particular content also, or if you want to, you can commit that particular change. It is possible to commit the change also. Now do this, because I am giving you after the each command some time to, I am going to do it very slowly, so that I want you people to work with these commands. Create one new file and then say save it. Okay, save it, edit the file with the create a file with the gedit and then save it. After that, so the moment the way you write gedit file, edit gediter is opened up, a front end is opened up, then create the content, some content, then save, click on the save button in the window of gedit. Note the file name is, after that, once close the gedit, then add it to the staging area using git add and file name. Okay. Then if you look into, then if you enter git status, it will say that a new file is created. One file is created, some entry is there, content is there in the file. That's what is what we have done so far. Now assume that you want to open this particular file. Once again, gedit m1.txt and ampersand. Then try to do some changes to this. Okay. My second edit, a simple change. Okay. Then after that, once if you change this particular content, save it. Now look into the content here. Initially, this is first version, then my second edit, then save the file, then close it. Once if you close it, then you can commit the changes. I mean, you can get it to the staging area, that particular changes, by writing git add and file name. Now you find out status. Because nothing is committed here so far, it says that changes to be committed. Read this command carefully. You created one file, then again modified it, and then again it to the staging area. Then you are now checking the status of the Git file using the following commands. Just notice it. What is happening? What is the no commits yet? Commit is saving the created content into the file. Staging area is a file that stores information of the changes that need to be committed. The file contents should be added to the staging area before committing them. Okay, before when you want to committing them, you have to get it to the older Git versions used the term index instead of staging area. Okay, now we call it as a staging area. It is a file that is indexing all the histories. Now we also added this. You can create one new file also into the multiple files also can be there, or else you can say whatever the changes committed, you can say git status, that will tell you about the latest modifications, whatever it is happened to it, etc. When we attain a particular stage, we can save our work in the repository. Now we created some content and we did some modification as well as a second edit, etc. Then assume that this is at one particular point, there is some sense in the code, or it may be your program file also. You want to save it. Then you can say git commit. Look into the command, say git commit. Then it will say that, so this is what you are going to get. Here in the first line, you can say initial commit, some message you can write. Then you can say change. This is something like a message during the commit. Okay. And please enter the commit message for your changes. Look into the readings also, that particular help files also, that also will help you. So this is the initial commit by some indexing, you can do it. Then close it. Then it will tell what is changed, how many files are changed, etc., etc. Create mode, m1.txt. This is what after committing. Now now look into one more important command called git log. It's a very interesting command that will tell you initial commit, as well as there is one more point to remember here. The first line of the git log commit and one long 40 bytes of 40 alphanumeric characters. It is a SHA-1 hash. It is a unique ID of 40 alphanumeric characters. Git stores all the information in its database by the hash value. Git commits are identified by SHA-1 hash. Okay, that is a 40 byte, 40 character code. Okay, alphanumeric codes are available. Okay. So this is what has happened after commit, as well as date when it is committed, when the data is committed. Now you can assume that you have coded some program and after modification you saved it. Some commit messages, some content is updated by you. Now you can. So this is about some basic commands. What are the commands we discussed here? One is git log, another is git commit. Then again, just going to the history of the different commands, whatever you worked here. Editing one particular file in the background, how to do that. How to add the file to the staging area. Then again, finding the git status. Once if you do some modification, then also you have to, if you want to commit it, you have to get it to the staging area. Otherwise, it will not be saved. At any time you can find out the status of your Git repository with the git status command. Try to understand the messages, try to interpret the messages properly in the git by reading it. Okay, then you will try to, once if you do some modification, you commit it, then after commit, so how to commit also note down, it is git commit. The command is git space commit, then your changes are saved in the repository. Then when it is saved in the repository, then you can find it out with the git log. Now look into this. The moment you say git log, commit message or commit hash code is also displayed, alphanumeric code, author name, the username as well as email ID, which we already assigned it during the initial configuration. When you committed this, all these details. Now looking into, now this is about some simple basic commands about creating one file and modifying it and committing it. Now assume that many people are collaborating with the development of this file. This may be your program code, this may be some HTML pages, or this may be anything, any content, file content as such. If many people are collaborating, then one of the more important point is to understand what do we mean by branching in Git. Now, if you look into the command, say git log, and with one option here, one line, look into this. The previous git log and git one line, what is the difference? Here just one line information about the git log comes in. It's not as detailed as the previous command. The previous command outputted this much content. Look into this. With the 40 character alphanumeric SHA-1 code also for the commit whatever you have done. With the git log --- one line, you are getting a condensed information that first 7 characters of hash code C02270A instead of 40, and after that there is one information called head, because this is the default area. Head is master, the branch is master here, initial commit by So I entered my short name as that's why it is in the message, commit message, that's why that same message appears here. This is actually a log file. Now when I say branch, after committing this message, you can still continue working on the default, the same branch. Some other people can take the committed file from this particular point, and they can start their own branch to modify the content. Now two groups are working parallelly. Your team may work on same master branch. From this particular time interval, so here the onwards, one more new team can start working on log. Now look into the command called git branch. The moment you say git branch, you can notice that there is only one branch here, because this is a master, and by default it is named as master branch. It is master branch. Git branch. Now assume that you want to start a branch for the development of this particular file or a program. So we are working on a file. We can start one new branch. So for a collaboration purpose, instead of you alone is working on that file, assume that you are taking some other people along with you, and you are assigning some very different task to them for working. So now in this particular point, you can start a new branch by entering, note down the command, starting a new branch. Okay, git branch. So you can name a branch name. Say, for example, I can say new chapter. So I am going to create one new chapter, separate development branch called new chapter. Now, if you look into the status of branches available in this repository, you can check it with the command git branch. Now notice the output. There you can notice that there are two branches here. One is the master branch and another is the new chapter. In this git repository, there are two branches, master and new chapter. Now there are symbol near that master branch that says that currently you are in master branch. Okay, currently you are in master branch. You can edit the files available. Now look into the content here. You are going to get this m1.txt here. You can see that particular file because it's a master branch. You are currently in the master branch. Now assume that for now you want to shift to, you have created a new branch. You want to go to a new branch. So to go to the new branch, the command is git checkout new chapter. Now notice that you are getting a message switched to branch new chapter. Switched to branch new chapter. Now try to issue a command -ls-a. But now you are working on, so you can see this particular content for the new branch m1.txt. Okay, m1.txt is the file available here also. Because you are in a separate branch, you can check out with the git branch command now. Now try to find out where are you. Now look into this. There are two branches, master. Now the star mark is in a new chapter. Star mark is in a new chapter branch. Now you are in a separate branch now. Now try to create one new file in the in the branch file. Let me create one new file using gedit, that is m2. m1 is already there. You can notice that. I will create m2.txt. This file is created. I am going to create it in branch, a new branch, maybe called a new chapter. Now gedit is opened. I will create my file here. Here I will write my first edit in m2.txt. Some content, actually valid code in a type. I assume that this is what for identity purpose, to understanding purpose, where we are when I edited here. I am making that comment itself is a content of the file. My first edit in m2.txt in new chapter branch. and I am saving this content and closing the file. Now if you look into ls-l, you can notice that there are two files. Okay, created it. But now this file is not yet committed here. Just now I created a file. That's it. One file is created, m2.txt. I will get it to the staging area. Say for example, by typing, how to type it? We can get it to the staging area by writing add m2.txt. So file is added to the staging area in branch. I am working in branch, remember that. I am working in the branch, not in the default branch, not in the master branch. So m2.txt, this is the content produced by the branch called a new branch. Now after adding to the staging area, assume that this file is optimized to some extent. Now team can go for committing it. Git, it can say commit. And whatever the message, you can directly do it from the command line also. Otherwise, if you say simply git commit, one commit window will open up. There you can edit some message here. Or else if that message you can type in directly with the -m command. I can say that added m2.txt in new chapter branch by Manmohan, some commit message, and you can see the content is committed here. Now if you want, you can look into git status here, git log. One line. Now you can notice that after committing it, you will get the information that the first 6 characters of 7 characters of hash code and added m2.txt in a new chapter branch by and committed by, initial commit is by Manmohan. Now you can look into this message. Okay. Now commit log will show you, look into this very clearly, commit log will show you added m2. Okay. Now from this particular branch, you can check out, you can go back to the master branch by once again saying check out, switching between the branch. Remember, I was in the new chapter branch. From the new chapter branch, I can go back to my master branch by typing git checkout and branch name master. Here also you can see, so you can say git log online. Now look into the content here. What is changing? The master, in the master branch, I am in the master branch. In the master branch, I can see only m1.txt. It's very interesting because I created m2.txt and committed it. I created some new content, but it is not reflected in the master branch because master branch is a separate folder, but m1.txt was taken by the branch team, the new team, and along with that they created a new file also. But whatever the file created by them, m2.txt, is not yet reflected here, okay, because it is a separate branch. Note, if you modify, we need to commit the work. If you open this amount.txt also, then you have to commit it to reflect the changes. Say, for example, there is one amount.txt here. Say, let us try to edit that particular file in the master branch using gedit. m1.txt. This is the first version, and this. Now let me create one more edit here. I want to change the content. My third edit. I save this content, save this file here. I modified the content m1.txt. Remember, gedit m1.txt. Now assume that after editing, I want to go to another branch, git checkout. I have not committed, or not even I have taken it to the staging area. So now if I try to go out from the git checkout, say for example, new chapter. Check it, the name. Let me verify the branch name properly. Git branch, okay, new chapter. Then I am currently in the master branch. So git checkout new chapter. Now if I try to change to the new branch, look into the message, whatever I am going to get. Git checkout new chapter. Now switched to the new chapter. And here also we have not committed the changes. Again, if I want to come back to the main branch, checkout master. Again, now I am in master branch. Let me go look into my edit file, gedit, the previous content. The content is available here, but it is not committed. Okay, remember, this is not committed. If you modify and if you want to reflect in all other Git repository, you need to commit the contents. So that you can do. Now another point is how we can use host Git repositories. The next portion is about how to host repositories. Now you also need to be online, and you can, if you are already now connected to the internet, there are many Git repositories available, online repositories are available. So let us try, all of us, open your one browser, any of your favorite browser, by connecting to the internet. After that, so there are many different Git repositories available, like Bitbucket, then CloudForge, GitHub, etc. Okay. So you can try with all those different type of repositories also. Let us try with the Git repository, online Git repository, say www.github.com. Now this is where you can create your own user account. Okay, if you already have one user account, you can log in with your user ID. Otherwise, you can go for sign up. Here you can select a username. It says, okay, you may have to try with a unique user ID. That's very important. Okay, anyway, I will try to create your own user account meanwhile. So I may have already created one user account. I will let me try with that. Otherwise, you create one user account here. The moment I try to log in, it sent one message to me, probably to the Gmail ID. So for a verification, it will send one verification code. Let me try with that. Meanwhile, all of you open one email account, GitHub account in your name. Carefully you do it, and you can use it for later also. So this is how, so I logged into my account. This is a online repository. Okay. Online repository. You can create your own repository and you can share your work with others. Similarly, you can your own repository also. Okay. Look into, if you want to start a new project, you can name it, or you can try to create one new repository. Looking into this, and you can say, for example, you can name one new repository also in your user account. Then there are options here. One is the public and another is the private. But if you go for selecting private, sometimes it may ask for you to pay, etc. Let me create one file. Okay, if it is permitted, you can do it. Okay, public account, then you can start with the one readme file also you can create, or you can go for choosing a license also. Then say create repository. Now you can look into this. This is the online GitHub repository, and project name, I created one new repository called test1, something like my files. In the command line I created whatever we did previously, that is in the command line. It is in our own computer. This is the online GitHub repository. Use this. All of you need to create. I want all of you to create your own GitHub repository and name it with probably with your name, Git repository. Now you can also look into this. The moment you create a GitHub repository, then it is possible Now look into this. This is a main branch, or the so-called master branch here, because there is also notice this particular point where I am pointing the cursor. This is the master branch, or the only one branch right now available with you, main branch. Here you can create one content, some file or some program also can be created. Okay, some program also can be, or you can add one file also. Let me create one new file here. Create one new file. I can name this particular file as, for example, m1.txt, and I can edit this particular file. This is first edit in master branch. This so you can create some content in the master branch, very similar to the way in which we created the file with the gedit command. I created some content here. Then after that, after creating the content, you can commit also. Committing message also you can type in. By default, you will get a message here. There's a create m1.txt, or some additional description also you can give it. Commit directly to the main branch. You can commit this particular branch content to the in the main branch. So you created one content and you commit that file. Now you can notice here in the main branch, there is a file and it is already committed. Create and commit message is create m1.txt. This is the file. And remember that already we opted for a README file. If you are developing a project, you can write the installation instructions, how to install this particular code, how to work with this code. Assume this m1.txt contains your program code and you want to share with everybody. That's why we opted for a public. Then you can write installation command or any other instructions for the usage that you can write it in a README file. Okay. Now it is anyway initial files. In this way, you can go on creating any number of files. You can change the content also. You can add a new file also into the Git repository, maybe with a different name, or you can upload the file also from your computer, which is if the program code is already it is ready in your computer hard disk, you can upload it to online repository with the upload commands. Now, if you want to create one new branch, now click here. You can find a new branch. Say, for example, we can write new chapter. And you can say press enter. It is possible to see, you can get a message that one branch is created. You will get the branch information also. Now you are in the new chapter. There are two branches, default branch as well as the new branch. You can go to, now you are in the new branch. You can go back, switch between the branches. Okay, generally in the command line we do it with the checkout command. Now here it is a menu driven. You can go back to the main branch as well. If you go to the main branch, now whatever the modification do here, that is in the M1 branch, or else if you want to go to a another branch, you can change over from the main branch to the new branch with this command. Then there is one tag option here, tagging this main branch. We have some data here, m1.txt. Now you can go for tagging it. Let me say that it is version 1.0. And also for the so how many repositories are there in your project, your user profile, all these also will be displayed here. You note down that. Try to get a practice using and get familiarization with this particular uh, web page of the front end of the GitHub. Whatever so far we studied with the command line, you need to able to implement with the GitHub. By the next lab, I want everybody to have one GitHub account with you. Let us try to do some practical things with the online Git repository also. So once if you create a GitHub repository, try to share your GitHub repository or add your friends to your development team. Try to see how it works. You are also working on the same file and modifying the content, etc. How to download a repository from one particular user. What are the different projects available in the Git project? How you can jump between different projects, how to explore the different aspects, okay, of the GitHub repository. So let's look into the different branches, what is happening in a different branch. Once if you are subscribed to all the different branches, you can switch between any branch and you can obtain code from the committed code repository from that particular branch, and you can import that codes as well. So far, whatever we covered with the command line, we need to understand how to make use of it, or how we can use it in the online GitHub online front end, how you can host your own online repository instead of having a repository in your own machine. In the command line, in the initial point in this class, we studied how to start a Git repository, initiate a Git repository in your own computer. But the same aspects you can do it with the in online also. Similarly, you try to open one user account in Bitbucket and CloudForge, etc. Okay, and try to find out the usage is very common. Once if you are familiar with the command line usage, you can practice. By practice, you will get to know about how to use online repositories as well. Now coming back to this online the desktop repositories, there are different inspection and comparison of Gits. Whenever you are going to do multiple changes to the Git repository files, how to find out what is happening, what is happened in version 1, what are the changes made in initial edit, what are the changes made in second edit, third edit, etc. What is the difference between what is the content changed in each development cycle? Everything can be tracked down. What is, or else at any point in time, if you want to find out the original or the initial version of a file, then how to get it back, or how to track the changes happening. That also can be learned with the different commands like git diff. Note down. In the next class, we will start with the git, this inspection and comparison of gits. First command is diff, diff. Second command what we are going to discuss is git show, show. Similarly, git help. Similarly, so configuring some colors whenever you are working with the command line tools. If you want to get colored outputs or a user-friendly output, you can configure it to some extent with the different colors. How to enable it and disable it with the color.ui true or false commands, as well as the switching between the different stages of development. How we can jump between different stages of development at any point. Assume that you have a software of version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, etc. Changes happen to the software. Now you assume that you are working on a version 5. In the version 5, if there is any problem, if you want to go back to the older version, how you can jump back, how you can go back to the older version of a file. That also can be obtained by going back in the different folders or in the different development cycles. So those aspects we will study it in the next class. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask now. And remember that I want all of you to open one online GitHub user accounts by the next class. If you find any difficulties in creating your own GitHub account and trying to understand and try to understand it. So far we studied only the preliminary things, how to create one content, how to open one Git repository, how to initialize it. After initializing, how to create content. After that, how to add it to the staging area and how to commit the messages. And after that, how to start a new branch and what happens and how to change between the main branch and the new branches, and how to track changes happening in main branch as well as in the new branches, monitoring, comparison, etc. We will study it in the next session. Till then, practice various commands with the Git repository. And if you have any doubts, it is a time for that. Any questions? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, then see you in the next class. In the next class, I am going to conclude this GitHub chapter. Then there is one more chapter remaining, SVN, that we will start with. Before that, once again, I will remind you, all of you, open one new GitHub account. Or if you are already having one user account, it is fine, well and good. Let us try to collaborate with the online repository also. Let us practice that also. Okay, bye.